I can't do it.
All right, let's stay in the SEC at the same time.
Ooh.
3:30 on CBS. Texas A&M 4-2 at number 19 Tennessee 4-1. Current line 3.5 for Tennessee. Total 55.5. A&M obviously coming off a pretty crushing loss for them against Alabama at home. A&M has won 2 in a row against Tennessee. They won in double overtime at home in 2016, and they won in 2020, 34-13 in Neyland. But A&M has lost 7 straight road games. They've lost each of their last 11 games as a road underdog. Not great.
Ooh.
Tennessee, on the other hand, hasn't lost a home game in nearly 2 years. Won 12 straight, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is. Tennessee and A&M rank 1-2 in the country in average sacks per game.
Yeah.
So I worry about. Yep.
Do you know what they rank in sacks allowed? As you can hear me clicking through, trying to find. Oh, okay, never mind. It's not that bad. Tennessee's only given up 6 all year.
Okay. Tennessee also has an extra week to prepare, which is big. They're coming off of a bye. I worry about the spot for A&M. If they weren't coming off that loss to Bama, I think I'd be more inclined to pick A&M here. But because they did, and Tennessee's coming off a bye, and it's at home for Tennessee, I like Tennessee to win this game, and I like them to barely cover the spread. I hate that hook, but I'll take Tennessee 28, A&M 24. I hate betting on Joe Milton. I just do.
Here's the thing. Now, I've said this a bunch, and like Brooks Austin's a guy that I love and love the work he does, and he's the first person I've seen really bring it up, and like the way you beat Tennessee, okay, the way you beat Tennessee, because as much as we talk about how big that offense is, and I've been saying this for a minute, like the whole thing about throwing it deep and what we saw with Hendon Hooker last year and Jalen Hyatt, a lot of people's idea of Tennessee's offense is, well, it's gimmicky because they spread you out so wide, and then on top of that, what they do is they throw the ball deep, because we saw Hendon Hooker hitting Jalen Hyatt, and I'm not trying to overblow like one specific game or say it's all because of this, because I'm a Bama guy, but like as with a lot of things, a lot of identity and a lot of facts, I'll say, are made in games against Alabama. And one part about the Tennessee offense I feel like people have a misconception of is, well, they're throw the ball deep and they're airing it out constantly because of what they saw last year against Alabama. It's a run-first offense. And the way to stop that offense is, because they are going to spread you out, is you have to stop the run with light boxes. You have to have 5 or 6 guys in the box, and that's it. You can't be bringing safeties down. You cannot put safeties on slot receivers like you saw last year against Bama. And if there's a defensive line and a front 7 or a front 6 in this case that is equipped and capable of doing this, it's A&M. Like, and you look at the conference, especially Georgia, maybe Bama, we'll see next week. But A&M, I firmly believe, can stop Tennessee's run game. And that is, if they can't run the football, like we heard all offseason about how Joe Milton is going to air the ball out and throw it, like 100 yards and all that kind of shit. And then you look at like some of the numbers, like from like, I know our buddy Clark Brooks or Clark Brooks, SC StatCat. I don't know how I'm drawing a blank on his name. I think I'm still hungover from the Braves game on Monday. Anyway, like game. Joe Milton, the Phillies fan was not thrilled. Incredible ending. No, so like Joe Milton, a majority of his like I think he is like either however you want to look at it, like last in the SEC in throws in terms of like yards away from the line of scrimmage. Like he's averaging like 2 yards from the line of scrimmage on his like per throw attempt, right? Like, so what I'm trying to say basically is like a majority of his throws come within the first 2 yards of the line of scrimmage, because there's so many screens and so many like, slip screens and bubble screens and all that kind of shit, hoping the receiver will get out in space, which is weird to me because like we've heard again all off season, Milton can throw the ball 90 yards. You got a bunch of speedy receivers. They just don't run that kind of offense. Now, what beat A&M last week? And sure, Bama had a couple of really, really big, like, they had a couple of like busted coverages, especially early on, and some deep balls. But what beat A&M was the intermediate passing game that Jalen Milroe he excelled at last week and the week before, really. And Joe Milton doesn't do that. He does not beat you 8 to 10 yards at a time. And to be honest, I think he's too greedy to do it. I think he wants to throw the ball deep, and I think he wants to air it out, and he does not have the accuracy for 60 straight minutes to do that. I think A&M's a better team. I think that they are going to do what A&M and Jimbo Fisher have done in the past, which is sorry, I'm in Atlanta. My parents just sent me a text. They got Pepper a new dog tag, so there's that. I think that what he's going to want to do is try to beat them in intermediate routes, which is exactly what Milroe did last week. And the other thing is this too: A&M is a really good football team, and I think they're going to come out here and do what everyone does not want to see, which is probably just Undertaker gif, like come back to life, because they are a good football team. And you go back to what I said about the light boxes. You're talking about a team that has 38 tackles for loss and 20 sacks in their last 3 games combined. That is absurd. I mean, those are absurd numbers. To put that in perspective, I've got the numbers put up here right now. Like, to put that in perspective, the total sacks, like they've had 20 in the last 3 games. That is more than 10 of the other 14 or 10 of the other 13 teams in the conference for the entire year, and they've done it in the last 3 games. I think A&M goes on the road, and I think they win. They have more roster talent. I think Max Johnson is a good quarterback. And I just think that, I know Tennessee's coming off a bye, but if I'm also being honest, I wonder how much of that bye week was spent talking about the game after this. Like, I know you got to be focused on A&M a little bit, but you just can't convince me that they spent the entire 2 weeks not looking ahead a little bit to next week, which is a massive, massive game for them. So I like A&M to go on the road. I like them to win. And I'll take A&M outright, not even just covering the spread. I'll take them outright, 27 to 24.
It'd be a big win for Jimbo.
It would. You would hate it, but yeah, it would be.